Let's move straight to our final story. Now, the trouble rocking the Labour Party may be far from going away after the Julius Abure-led National Executive Committee, NEC, rejected the caretaker committee constituted to organize the party's Congress. The group has followed this up by withdrawing the 2027 automatic presidential ticket reserved for Peter Obi and the governorship ticket for Abia State Governor Alex Otti. Now, Abure declared that the ticket will now be opened to other aspirants. He vowed to continue to function as the party's national chairman, stressing that the setting up of a national caretaker committee headed by Nenadi Usman is a nullity. Now, meanwhile, Obi and Otti have written to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, for validation of the resolution reached at the recent stakeholders meeting. So, who blinks first in this saga? BK.
I and the party have been accused of being responsible for Peter Obi's failure in the 2023 general election. They have stated that the campaign, election donations, and funds for the payment of agents were mismanaged by the party. Hence, Peter Obi failed in the 2023 general election. Let me make it categorically clear that campaign funds were disbursed, administered in the southern states by the leadership of the campaign council, first led by Doyi Okube, and secondly, under the control of Akin Oshutogun. While the funding of the campaign for the 19 northern states were handled by the vice presidential candidate of the party, Dati Baba Ahmed. The funding of the election itself was done by Peter Obi himself. The party was never involved in the distribution of those resources. Our interest was to see how we can produce a president for the party. However it was done, we didn't bother ourselves about it. Hence, we gave them free hands. We followed them sheepishly. We followed them loyally and allowed them to administer the funds of the campaign for the election and so on and so forth. As per the donation, the party was not involved in the collection of any campaign donations. Donations to the campaign were channeled to the following accounts: Obi Dati Ahmed campaign accounts. The signatories to these accounts were Aisha Yusuf and Pastor Itwa Iwodalu. They were equally responsible for the payment of polling unit agents. The party did not even bother to pay its agents. We handed over the list to the campaign council and to those who were administering these funds to pay polling unit agents that worked for the presidential election. Consequently, it is mischievous for any person to accuse me and the party for mismanaging of these funds. At no time did the party or its officials engage in any financial transaction as it relates to the presidential campaign. At this stage, it will be safe for me to conclude that I and my colleagues at the level of this NWC was elected in the convention of our party held on the 27th day of March 2024. And we will therefore defend the mandate that has been given to us freely by members of this party. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I want to say categorically that no governor, no governor that we gave tickets can harass us out of office. Yes, sir. No governor, no matter how highly placed, will come and with a fiat dissolve the National Working Committee, dissolve state councils, dissolve local government councils, dissolve world executive, even military governments don't behave that way. And so I must state categorically that that mandate that was given to us on March 27th, the leadership of this party, under my leadership, will defend it, and I want to assure you that we will reclaim it and we will be here and produce the next president of Abuja.
All right, BKO, who blinks first? Abure-Led or the Nadi?
See, Abure is fighting for his political life. Once you take this off him, he was a legal the advisor of the party before now, so he understands the law. He knows that once they take this off him, he's gone politically.
He loses relevance.
Yes. Where is he going to find the relevance again? You know, so he's fighting tooth and nail to hold on to that position. And what I don't understand is why the INEC didn't attend the convention that they held on March 27, where Abure got a fresh term of office. Why did INEC not attend? INEC needs to answer that question.
Okay.
Because people are free to conclude that INEC clearly sided with anti-Abure elements.
Okay, INEC is side one faction.
INEC refused to attend. So, and by refusing to attend, it's like they refuse to validate whatever happened at that convention. That is where things got worse for Abure, because Governor Otti and other people, they stayed away from that convention. The big people, federal lawmakers, big people in the party stayed away. I talked in the past about a desire on the part of some people to take the party from him. And it's looking like they are working towards that, rapidly working towards that, because what they've done by setting up that caretaker committee is just similar to what the APC did, to kick Oshomole out of power. It's similar to what they are doing to Abure now, and with Obi not on his side, I don't think Abure will survive, because Obi sat on the fence. He sat on the fence. It's his nature anyway. He sat on the fence. He didn't really come out against Abure from the beginning. All he said was, I told him to organize an inclusive, what's it called? Convention. And he spoke like somebody who may leave the party. But he later modified what he said, because clearly maybe some of his supporters reacted. So Abure gave him the 2027 ticket. Clearly Peter Obi was happy with that, so he didn't go gung-ho against him. Now that he's gone to join Otti and others, I don't think Abure has anybody strong enough to keep him on that seat. This matter will eventually be resolved by the courts, but whatever happens, the Labour Party will certainly become weaker as a result of this, because there are those who have made up their minds to that these ones want to hijack the party. We are not going to make it easy for them. So this crisis will go on for some time, but I believe that the momentum is with Governor Otti and Peter Obi.
Peter Obi.
Now, they've written to INEC. What do you think INEC will say? If INEC validates them, does INEC even have the power to validate them? It's the court that can actually say, look, this committee that you set up is right. So I don't think it's in INEC's place to say what you have done is right. The courts have to decide.
Okay. There's a lot of discontent in the party. Talk about the division, talk about the stakeholders meeting of Governor Alex Otti and Inadi. There's still that question of the legality. Does it line up or does it not line up with the constitution of Labour Party? Well, what are your thoughts on that?
I also think that the people on Alex Otti's side are also saying that I think they had a meeting with INEC in 2022 and they had an agreement on conducting a convention, but they said they couldn't do that in 2023 and hence the 2024 date because of the general election in 2023. So but the fear on the part of the Otti's angle is that whatever decision they take by Abure's faction may go against them in future.
Okay.
Yeah, hence the reason why they are thinking of setting up a caretaker committee, because in the eyes of INEC, according to them, Abure has ceased to be the chairman of the party. So any decision taken from March, when his term elapsed, will not be validated by INEC, may not be validated by INEC.
Okay.
So that is why they are setting up the caretaker committee.
Okay.
But the point is that a party that is divided against itself surely will not be able to stand. What I think Nigerians are looking out for is a strong opposition at a time like this, and not a party that will be, that we don't know where they are. Now, look at what is going on in PDP. It's factionalized. We have an LP that is also factionalized. So I'm looking at the interest of the people in general.
As we gradually wind down, you mentioned this part when you talked about different parties. Let's talk about internal democracy in our political parties. Why is it so difficult for us to have internal democracy? Because
the parties involved are always looking at their self-centered interests.
Too many powerful people.
Too many powerful people, and you are looking at your own interest, not the interest of the party. And that is why we have these things happening almost across parties. And until politicians decide to look at the interest of the party, and that is the reason why we don't also have, we cannot say that this is what a party stands for. The ideology in Nigeria, because everybody is just looking at what pays in at a point in time. And that doesn't all go.
We are out of time, but in 30 seconds.
I agree.
Internal democracy.
I agree that intrinsic interest is the biggest obstacle to the achievement of true internal democracy in our parties. The big people in the parties always want to have their way. In the party primaries, they will cheat those who do not have money and ensure that their own candidates emerge. And parties go to elections divided because people feel cheated during those primaries. So we have a long way to go. There is no real internal democracy in our parties. What we see is Baba Sokwe, okay, this powerful person will just drop a list. Governors will determine those who go to Senate, those who go to House of Assembly. Governors even determine who becomes speaker. They are not supposed to get involved in who becomes speaker. The House of Assembly, if they are really worth their name, they should be able to choose their own leader. But governor, in fact, a governor when sat down and ensure that they chose a speaker before his eyes. Audit is happening in our country.
Audit, I like that word. Anyway, but thank you very much. Thank you so much, Olabisi Teju-Folitile. Thank you so much for having this conversation.
Thank you for having
Honestly, I want to thank the veteran.
Thank you.
BKO, thank you so much for having this conversation.
Thanks.
And that's it on Journalist Hangout today. Join us tomorrow for another episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast of this episode tonight at 11. Join us on Sunday from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. for Journalist Hangout on Sunday. We are on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC Nigeria. I am Benga Oreshegun. Bye for now, and God bless Nigeria.